to me. People love athletic quarterbacks, except Lamar Jackson, and he's the best at it. I mean, Johnny Manziel comes out. I was assured, I didn't buy it, but he'd be great. And I have defended Kyler Murray, but he's tiny and regressing and hard to coach. And then I was told Justin Fields and Anthony Richardson, and it's like, I know what it looks like when it's great. And what it looks like when it's great is Lamar Jackson, who, because of his work ethic and his passion, has become the soul of the city, the soul of the franchise. Lamar Jackson's unbelievable. He's the greatest all-time running talent, and now Baltimore finally got him a star back who's healthy, really nice receivers, Mark Andrews tight end, and this is what it looks like. Think about Buffalo. A week ago, we thought Buffalo was the best team in the world. They gave up last night. They quit. They couldn't stop him. 9 yards of play in the first half. This is a guy that is 21-1 against the NFC. And Chris Collinsworth pointed this out. There's no way to prepare for Lamar Jackson. Your best bet is to be Cleveland, Cincinnati, or the Steelers. You see him a couple times a year, and you kind of understand the game speed and his ability. Those teams have a much better shot. Not even Mahomes dominates a conference like Lamar Jackson does. He's 21-1 against the NFC. Because if you don't see him frequently or never, I mean, he humiliated an excellent Detroit team last year. He humiliated San Francisco. So no star quarterback in this sport, it's weird, has more critics. But y'all tell me you love the athletic quarterbacks. I like my quarterbacks to be athletic, but I don't even know if you can use that term for Lamar, because when I watch him, if you gave me one quarterback and one team to watch every week, half the time it would be Lamar Jackson. And what we try to do is, and this is the way it works, we've all had a boss like this. We all know this is true. Everybody tries to define you and jam you into a box. Like Jamie Foxx goes to Hollywood. He can dance, he can sing, he can act, he can do game shows, he's funny, he can do anything. Don't put him in a box. He can do anything. Lamar Jackson has a passer rating over 100. In the last 3 big games he's faced, because y'all tell me he doesn't win big games, KC, Dallas, and Buffalo. 2 of them were really good defenses. He's completing 69% of his throws. This is just the throwing part. 6 TDs, no picks. So you don't get any reckless. You get all the upside. What's the downside? Well, he can't beat Mahomes. Well, last time I checked, nobody except Brady at the end could. Like, I watched this kid. Yes, Derrick Henry was sensational. Well, Derrick Henry's been sensational most of his career. He's on the latter end of his career. But part of what allows Derrick Henry or a J.K. Dobbins or a running back to flourish with Lamar Jackson in this offense is you're terrified. You can't cheat. You can't lean into a good back. Because if Lamar decides, I'm just going to keep it, he's faster than your corners and your linebackers and your safeties. The kid's incredible. I don't want to hear that he can't win big games. In the last calendar year, he's destroyed the Niners and the Cowboys and Buffalo and the Dolphins and Houston twice and Seattle and Cincinnati. He's winning big games. He can't beat Mahomes. The kid is absolutely remarkable. Passer rating over 100, exhilarating. If you're going to love the quarterbacks that move, then you have to love the greatest athletic moving quarterback at all time, but he's never been given respect. We're watching all these young quarterbacks throughout the course of NFL history. They struggle. They come into the league. They can't quite figure it out. They can't slow the game down. Lamar's the only player that came in, was faster than the league. They were hoping he would slow down. Week 11, first year comes in. Wow, next year MVP. As long as Lamar Jackson is healthy and quarterbacking the Baltimore Ravens, they will always be in the Super Bowl bubble. I think the kid's absolutely phenomenal. I mean, Buffalo a week ago looked like the best team in the league, and they just waved the white flag. They just surrendered. The hands up, their body language. There's nothing you can do. Here's the coach after.
We have weapons. You know, we're blessed with weapons. I mean, one of them just walked in here right now. Best weapon in football right there. And everybody rallies around him, and he distributes to everybody else. So that's where it starts. Now we know we are just getting better. We know what's possible. We know what we're capable of, but we got a long way to go.
I can't take my eyes off Lamar Jackson. I'm always being sold on all these quarterbacks that run around and move and might take it. No, I got one. There's one, and that's what it should look like. and it's the best I've ever seen. Matt, listen, Steve Young was the first time I saw a quarterback, and I'm like, you can run like all the time and be great. And Steve Young was amazing, but this is better than Steve Young. I know he doesn't have a trophy, but I mean, when you are, he had a move last night, only picked up a couple yards. Thank God Collinsworth picked up on it, where he literally moonwalked. He went into a hole and went, put it in reverse, shifted, went to the left, went back in. I was like, what was that? What did I just watch? The kid is remarkable and good for him last night. Okay, here's what's not remarkable. This one actually shocked me. For rookie quarterbacks, usually, for them to win, it has to be kind of situational, right? Like they're at home. They've got a little extra prep time. I thought the Jets, with Aaron Rodgers, with extra prep time, against Denver and a rookie quarterback, I thought this was a terrible spot for the Denver Broncos. Instead, it looked like the Jets didn't practice. It's time to recalibrate the Jets. They've played 4 games. They've been really good in one of them. The worst team in the league, New England, that was on a short week. They didn't play well against Tennessee. They got a Will Levis break. They got housed by the Niners, beat by Denver. Like, this team recalibrated. 4 games, 1 really good one. They are not a well-coached team. 13 penalties, cadence issues with veteran offensive linemen. Breece Hall, where'd he go? What happened to him? So Alan Lazard screwed up a drive with an idiotic penalty, had to settle for a field goal. That was Aaron's guy. We know Aaron seeks comfort, right? That was his guy. And Nat Hackett, that was his guy. Come on, this offense is just not good enough. Now, I will say Patrick Surtain, put him on Garrett Wilson, slows him down. We talked about that last week. You know, there's about 3 stop corners in the league, lockdown guys. Denver's got 1, so that was going to be a tough week for Garrett Wilson. But it was the penalties, Alan Lazard, veteran offensive lineman, cadence issues. This is not a well-coached team. And this has been the year of the underdog. Believe me, my picks Friday, it's been the year of the underdog. But that was a game you can't lose. The Jets, with Aaron Rodgers, a veteran O-line, had extra time to prepare for a Denver team that decided, let's just stay out east. It'll give us the only chance to win. And it was ugly. And I'm not blaming Aaron, but, you know, Aaron likes to be alone. He doesn't, like to be the only guy. And it felt like Aaron running around and scrambling and making up time with his feet. I'll give Aaron Rodgers credit. He wasn't very accurate. He didn't play particularly well. I don't know how to describe the cadence issues. That guy was running for his life. The 2 things we worried about with this team were Aaron Rodgers' health. Sacked 5 times, 14 hits. That is not the recipe. Games like the Jets season can't look like that. Aaron cannot take that beating. He did a great job to be active, to move his feet. He was scrambling. Give Aaron a ton of credit. But he wanted this offensive coordinator. This was his choice, and he wanted Alan Lazard, and they're not doing him favors. So the 2 things we worried about were Aaron's health. That didn't look good yesterday. And we worried about prickly Aaron, Robert Saleh in Green Bay. You have more veteran coaches, less chaos. We worried about Saleh and Aaron Rodgers. And after that awful performance at home against a rookie quarterback who threw for 60 yards, here was the coach and Aaron after.
We got to figure it out. Whether or not we're good enough to handle all the or ready to handle all the cadence. Cadence had not been an issue all camp. Felt like our operation had been operating pretty good. Obviously, today it took us a major step back.
The cadence specifically, Robert said that might be something you guys have to dial back a little bit. Is that something you think could potentially help the situation?
It's one way to do it. The other way is hold them accountable. I mean, we haven't had an issue. We've had 1 false start. Morgan had 1 false start, I believe, until this. So, it's been a weapon. We use it every day in practice. We don't, we rarely have a false start. And to have, 5 today, it seemed like, 4 or 5. Yeah, it seems like an outlier. I don't know if we need to make mass changes.
once again, feels like a little pettiness, a little anger. Hey, listen, I'm not blaming Aaron. We know he likes to be alone. He can't do it alone. I'm not blaming Aaron. And I do not